listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by Jason Scheer and Tetairoa. Tetairoa is in here. He wanted to say hi. He heard that Jacob Franklin is here. Look at Tetairoa. Scheer, isn't he impressive?
My God, look at that man.
All right, Tetairoa, you need to get down now. All right, there you go. Okay, now we've got a lot to get to this show. We are going to talk about Jacob Franklin. He is in studio, bothering Kevin Thomas. We're going to talk about fighting with Shane Diefenbach. But we are going to talk mainly Arizona football and Arizona basketball. And we have good news here, Scheer. Besides something that should be announced next week, you also have we've also got the shows are going to be going a little bit longer. Now, again, you're going to be hopping off at about 11:15, but I will keep going for a little bit because I am very, very tough. Okay, now, on that note, though, we are going to hand out report cards. We are going to talk about Arizona basketball, a lot of Arizona basketball, because in Tucson, what you always hear is, well, when's basketball season? Well, basketball season is right around the corner. But, Scheer, we are going to, so far through the fourth of the year, we're going to hand out report card grades, and we are also going to talk about, we had a fan ask about smelly, rainy Seattle grades. We will give some of those as well. Okay, but first, Scheer, we need to talk. We're going to go position by position here and talk about this. The first thing is we need to talk about the quarterback position. Listen, and we can, you can grade this any way you want. I am going to grade it a little bit with a sliding scale, mainly because I blame the coaching staff more than I blame Noah. But either way, Noah's not been good. We haven't seen many Noah's Arks. There's been, he was late on the throw against Kansas State. That was huge. I'm just going to have to give Noah a C so far.
No, that's what I was going to do. C. I think he's been average. I don't think he's been awful, but he hasn't been good. He's been an average quarterback, which is a little disappointing. And you could blame the coaches as well, but just not good enough so far.
Not good enough so far, but I do think that I think with Noah, though, you've also got to figure out what exactly you got to play into Noah's strengths, though. Noah's a very cerebral quarterback. And again, we talked about this yesterday, Scheer. When you make a rare good point, we are going to stick with it. The one thing I would say, like I said, quick outs, little screens, get this going. You don't need to wait till there's 3 seconds on the shot clock, 3 seconds on the game clock each time, Scheer. This does not need to be the case.
Yeah, there's some questions I have too, and hopefully we'll talk to Babers next week. I don't know who we're talking to, but does it feel to you also like Noah's dropbacks are like 10 yards, right?
And he just keeps dropping back then.
Yeah, he just keeps dropping back. And then you got the depth of the routes. And before you know it, a simple completion is basically 20 yards. The whole operation seems off.
Yes, exactly. And again, when we've got a car that we know can run fast and there's a new driver, at some point I start wondering whether the driver knows that the car could run fast. How about that for an analogy, Scheer?
Oh, you're on top of your game today.
No, dude, I did that off the top of my head. That's how good it was too. Everything on this show is off the top of my head. Exactly. All right. Now, Rick Trimmer in here saying a B-, the great Rick Trimmer. Great name, by the way. Dude, there's so many great names in this chat, dude. Who was the guy last week, though, that I just loved his name? It was like Marcos Antonio Valenzuela.
Yeah.
Dude, I would kill to have a name like that. Marcos Antonio Luquez.
That name sounds like it's right out of a daily soap opera.
No, doesn't it? Exactly. It's on like Univision or something. And
he's like the love interest or something. Like the mysterious, suave, he wears nice clothes.
But he's also like the weatherman as well or something.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. No, I would kill to have that. Talk about a name that would go right into the inner circle. By the way, I love that hat Kevin Thomas has. All right, now let's get to the running backs. I'm fine with the running backs. I'll go solid B with the running backs. No problem with the running backs.
I'll go B. I don't mind the running backs. I think they've done good enough, and they're in a difficult situation without Jacory. I'd like to see other backs get more touches, but it's hard to complain about Quali. He's been fine.
Yes. Now you talked about some players that should be playing a little bit more, Scheer. We agree with, and I agree with you on this one. You want to see more fam, and we're going to talk about that later. I want to see more fam as well. More fam.
Yeah, there's ways to do it. I don't need him getting carries in between the tackles, but if Noah's going to get blitzed or the offensive line isn't going to work, wouldn't it make sense to have Speedy as your safety valve because he could take a screen pass and get big yardage off it?
Right. Yes, exactly. I don't really get why they don't do that. Rudy Martinez says, any news on JMC? Here's where I'm at with JMC. I don't believe, and I'd love to be wrong. I've been wrong many, many times. I specialize in being wrong, but I do not believe that he's going to. I don't believe he's playing this. I think he's done.
Who is more likely to play a real snap in a game? Jacory or Justin Flo?
Justin Flo.
Wow.
Justin Flo. Justin Flo. And honestly, I don't even think it's close.
No, I agree. I look, the only thing I'll say with Jacory, and I know you guys are going to keep asking and we'll keep answering, is until you hear it, he's not playing. Like when he plays, you'll hear it.
This is also something too, where I get people all the time that ask me, they're like, well, do you feel bad for Jacory? This is an interesting situation for me because the NCAA cleared him, but at the same time, he also knows if he played those games or not.
Jacory is the only guy that knows the truth, apparently.
And if Jacory played in, I'll put it to you like this: if Jacory played in those games, I don't really
feel bad how it played out, though. I feel bad at the fact that the NCAA cleared him and then said, never mind. That sucks.
That part sucks. But at the same time, though, if you're also telling them that you didn't play in those games and you did, like,
maybe he has CTE. Football's a dangerous sport.
Football is a very dangerous sport. Bear Down Cats 96, who also has asked for a date out with Erica L. Day. Very interesting.
Oh, hey.
Running back would be a B+ if it didn't take 10 seconds to hand the ball off. That's not a bad point there, Scheer.
I asked about this. I'm a man of the people. If you guys want me to ask another question on Monday, let me know.
Yes, that exactly. Now, I am only here to let everyone know it was Meek Bill and with Sean Combs. It was hey, be nice. Oh, this is off topic really, really quickly. I got a lot of pushback on Twitter yesterday. I got a couple DMs with all the Diddy stuff going on. I put this out there and I have no problem. I believe that Suge Knight is a better person than Puff Daddy. Here is why. This is very
by the way, so this is a real conversation that Mike Shelby me had on the phone last night as well.
Yes, exactly. Here's the difference for me. Suge Knight was a gangster. If you didn't mess with Suge Knight's not messing with you. Puffy is a predator. That to me is the difference. I'm not saying that Suge Knight's a good dude, but when you're a gangster, you're not looking. It's just different. I agree. What do you say, Kevin Thomas? Come in here with the street.
Who do you want to run your daughter? P. Diddy or Suge Knight?
Suge Knight.
Is there a third option of?
How about Jason Scheer?
Yeah, Kevin Thompson. Yeah, I don't want.
I hopped in. I just hopped in. Sorry, Scheer. Sorry to cut you off. I just hopped in because I
cut him off. He deserves to be cut off.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. No, I just wanted to hop in here and say that neither of those guys are good guys. But I do agree with Mike that what Diddy did or allegedly did,
right?
Disgusting. So we just can't.
Right, because again, I'm not saying Suge Knight is a good person. I've never said that. All I am saying though is that when he's a street dude. When you're from the streets, he's not. Puffy is a predator. That to me, it's just different, man.
Well, and Puffy and Diddy and Suge both allegedly are involved in very nefarious things, but the overlap stops at the predator thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you got to.
Can we all agree on this? Can we all agree that Suge Knight better person than Puffy?
Yeah.
That's our show clip for today.
You also know what you're getting with Suge, right?
Right.
Diddy's trying to hide stuff, Suge is who he is.
Suge back in the day when he's rolling with Pac, at the end of the day, like, listen, there's a lot of gang stuff going on. You're stomping people out in the MGM over street beefs. I get it. That to me is just, I don't condone it. I'm just saying though, that's just different than what Diddy's doing.
I laugh at Del Taco Tommy's comment.
What Del Taco Tommy say? Sean Combs or Jed? Oh, we can get to that though. But no, that's where I'm at though with that. So again, anybody, I will not. Which one is more likely to be part of the inner circle? Suge
by far. Diddy probably doesn't even. Yeah, Suge by far. I don't think.
I was going to say we gotta
have his own car. I bet you Suge has.
I agree with Suge does have his own car. That's how we ran a guy over in his own car. He didn't pay somebody else to do it.
I am very curious, off topic again, how many people Diddy rolls on to try to save himself.
But the problem, though, is that I was watching this on the news yesterday, and we'll get back to sports here in a second. But, I was watching this on the news the other day. The problem though with him is that he's the head of the snake here. And so unless he can really give you massive names, and we're not talking about like a record executive. We are talking about people like in real positions of power. The buck kind of stops here. It's like asking John Gotti to roll on somebody. Well, I mean, unless you're working with the government, I don't know what else to say.
I like this. Let's transition into politics now. Let's just go completely off.
No.
Let's just make this a Diddy podcast.
Yeah,
right. But no. All right. By the way, June
Diddy.
Thomas. No. Suge had nothing to do with the Tupac murder. Here's why I can tell you this. Tupac was my size. Tupac was literally 5'9" and about 155 pounds. Suge Knight is about 6'4", 350. You know the last place, if I'm hiring somebody to shoot Tupac, the last place I'm going to be is right on the other side of him when I am twice his size. No. Dude, can we turn this into a clip, by the way?
Oh no, yeah, definitely. But also shout out Mama Thomas in the chat for sure.
Oh, Mama Thomas.
Shout out Mama Thomas. Yeah.
Oh, where? Okay. Oh, June Thomas. Yes. Oh, very
indeed.
good. Yes, we very much like Kevin Thomas on this show. Oh, all right. Now, very good stuff. Oh, by the way, we have a Washington fan in here, the great Natalie. We will be getting to Washington here in just a moment. Well, not a moment, in about 20 minutes or so. But either way, Suge Knight, better person than Diddy. We agree with that, Scheer.
Sure. You're like, it's like.
Right. No, I feel very strongly about it. And again, I would put it, there it is. Suge Knight, much better person than Diddy. Okay. Now, let's get back to some Arizona football as well. Also, very cool having a June Thomas and Natalie in the chat. Very exciting. Okay, we'll get to Washington here in a little bit, but now let's get back to Arizona grades. At the running back, we're fine. Now, wide receiver is an interesting one because we have the best wide receiver in the country in T-Mac. He did not go off to SRS, so we give him a lot of credit for that. But everybody else has been MIA. How much of this do you blame on the receivers? How much of this do you blame on Brennan, and can we blame some of this on Jed somehow?
Yeah, it's almost like a different grade, right? Like T-Mac A, right?
Right.
Other receivers
A plus.
Yeah, T-Mac A plus, other receivers D. No one's done anything.
Right. Now, I am not a cool person. You are definitely not a cool person. But what we know what we saw in practice, though, Scheer. And I'm going to keep going back to this. I know I sound like a broken record. I do not care. We know what we saw in practice. And again, Patterson was lighting up every DB that they put him on. He just was.
Yeah, we refuse. It may only be one game this year, but Patterson will have a good game this season.
When he has that good game, we are going to be unbearable. Now, Montana Lamonius Craig, let's not sit here and act like you didn't call that, Scheer. You called that one.
Well, yeah, Mike. I mean, eventually greatness has a way of breaking out. And yes. I'm not the greatness here. Montana is.
Yes. All right. So either way, how about that? We need to go with separate grades. We go A plus for T-Mac, D for the rest of the unit. How about that?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. All right. The offensive line, D.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Offensive line. Offensive. The problem is, Mike, like it's been 3 different offensive lines.
Oh, I don't care.
It's not A in the first game.
Okay.
D in the next 2.
Wow. So you give them a D against Kansas State, huh?
I thought they were terrible against Kansas State.
No, that's an F. That was a D. Oh, come on, dude, a D. You're
being you want an F? No, I think D. I'm giving them a D for the season.
All right. So overall, we give them a D for the season. We agree on this.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And the problem, too, is that it is not good because I think the thing that is very frustrating about it is that there has been really no progression. Again, you've got different lines. I get it. But this was a line that still should have been good. I agree with Andy Bryan. I am going an F against NAU. They kind of got pushed around against NAU. I think their performance against NAU is worse than Kansas State, Scheer.
Oh, I don't. They were fine. They were fine against NAU. They didn't get pushed around. They were fine. They ran for 200 yards.
They did nothing.
They ran the ball well.
All right, fine. Whatever.
They really did nothing against Kansas State.
All right, tight end, F/I. There has been nothing going on. A lot of bad grades here.
Getting an NA.
Yes.
Yeah. throw the damn ball to the tight ends.
Yes, throw the ball to the tight end.
I don't care. You know what? You want to lose to Utah? Lose to Utah. That's fine. Just throw to the tight ends while you're losing.
Right, exactly. Let's see here.
Fine. You know my point. You know.
Oh,
yeah. F, we're fine. I like that.
We'll be okay. But now let's get to the defense here. Hoops talk. I'm also tweeting out. We're going to get to hoops talk here in a second. But also now when it comes to defense, all right, the defensive line, Scheer, you were really, really big on the defensive line going into this season, especially the interior line. Listen, I take L's all the time. You take a massive L on the D line so far, especially the interior D line.
D. We're going D.
Right. Okay.
I still think, it's funny because Arizona tweeted out the stat too. There is no more fake stat right now than Arizona quarterback pressures.
Dude, that's a great face.
It's the nation, and Chase Kennedy's like 5th, but between them, they have 1 sack.
Yeah.
The reason you have pressures is because you can't contain.
Right. I think that's a massive problem. Would you agree with this, Kevin Thomas? You're coming in here.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask Scheer. He kind of got to my question, but I was going to ask him, do we know how we're getting these grades? Because if we're watching these games, there's just no way that we have 2 of the top guys.
They absolutely pressure the quarterback. The problem is they pressured Avery Johnson, and then he just ran for 40 yards.
PFF's full of crap.
No, they're pressures. If you count like Trey Smith against NAU, he had like 6 pressures. They just didn't get to the court. They didn't sack him. Yeah, it's a fake number.
It's a very fake number. All right, now here is something though. We're about to get to an ad read here in a second. Actually, an ad read. All right, now. Here, let's talk about branded bills first. All right, now you might be going around to yourself saying, I'd like a branded Bills hat. I'd like an Arizona hat, or I'd like something with a little bit of a smelly cloud. I don't know. Well, I don't know if they have smelly clouds. Be like Natalie though, and go buy a U of A hat this weekend at Branded Bills. I think that's what we can do here. I think that's a great look at this. Look at this, Natalie. This could be you with this hat right here. That is how good this hat is. Check it out. Branded Bills, all kinds of good stuff. Head to brandedbills.com and use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. That thing is amazing. And again, if you're up in Seattle and you want one of those hats, get a Branded Bills. Natalie, again, use discount code PHNX and you can get 20% off of that. Check it out, Branded Bills. And while you're at it, you might say to yourself, man, I'd like to get out of the Northwest and I'd like to go to Arizona. Guess where you'd want to go? The Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Come on, everybody, do the wave. We all know the wave. Come on, Scheer. Hey, Kevin Thomas, get in here. Do the wave. All right. Everybody out there, do the wave. All right. Anyways, Natalie, we know you're doing the wave right there. Check it out. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Now, a fun, immersive experience. Sure, I have seen the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You have seen it before as well. This is true.
Yeah. Every time I make that drive, I see it.
Have you ever stayed there before?
I have not stayed there, but I've been inside a couple times.
Okay, now, or another, our party animal friend, Erica L. Day, also, I would believe, would have a lot of fun at the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Again, everybody, do the wave right now. Everybody. Come on, Scheer, one more time. Kevin Thomas, one more time. Do it. Your mom's in here. There you go. June Thomas, do this as well. All right, everybody, the wave, the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Okay, so all right, Scheer. So we agree that the defense not been good enough. How about that? That?
That's not been good enough.
All right, now the linebackers. This is the one where I keep going back to the coaches. With the linebackers, I know, and I don't care what anybody says, I know Jacob Manu is a good football player. We have seen this. We know this. I don't believe that he just forgot to play football. So again, I'm going to have to go with an F for their, I'll go with a D for the linebackers, but I also blame this far more on the coaching staff.
I'll go with a C. I don't think they're D. I think Tay Brown's been okay. Manu's been disappointing, but Tay Brown's been what we probably thought, maybe even a little better.
98 snaps.
Huh?
Per game.
Yeah, but he
hasn't played any other linebackers.
Well, that's not, we're grading the ones that have played. I'm not grading the ones that haven't played.
We're grading the unit.
C.
All right, you're going with C. Are you just saying that to be nice because we like the linebacker coach?
No, I think there's C. I think Manu's been disappointing, but I think Tay Brown's probably been a little better than I thought, and it evens out.
All right. Now, oh, by the way, Kevin Thomas's mom coming in here again. June Thomas. We need more June Thomas, not less June Thomas. I'm going to stay there when I visit. Very, very cool. The Gila River Resorts and Casinos. June, do the wave. Come on. Do the wave. Do the wave. Okay. Now, Rick Trimmer, the great Rick Trimmer says, is Sua coming back? Possible playing? No.
Nope. I mean, he might be back, but
he's not playing. He's just, I don't know what else to say.
I wouldn't plan on any other linebacker playing until we see it.
You do want another linebacker to play, though.
I do. I think Jared Small should play.
You also want another linebacker.
He needs to take some breaks here. Something's clearly wrong mentally with him, or whatever it may be. He shouldn't be on the field every single snap. And I want Camilla to play as well. He's only played one defensive snap this season.
Right now, Mr. Tyler Warden, the great Mr. Tyler Warden says, it's wild that the disappointing units are coached by Danny Gonzalez, Samolo, and Oglesby. I am not surprised by the defensive line. That was a hire that I was never impressed with. Maybe I end up being right or wrong, who knows, but I was not impressed by that. I don't think that they did a very good job evaluating the talent that they had on the roster when he came here. When it comes to the D line, and some of those players left. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't like judging coaches off of 3 games.
Just do it, dude. It's not like they're giving you any info.
It's very clearly that the defensive line has been disappointing. And very clear. Which again, and we said it with the offense. We kind of know, and there were recruiting misses, obviously, but you kind of know the talent of certain guys, and if they're not showing that talent, usually it goes back to coaching.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes back to. All right, now let's talk about the defensive backs. This has been an interesting one for me because I think Marquise Groves Killebrew has been quite good. And we called that one though, Scheer. We missed on a lot of stuff, but we called Marquise Groves Killebrew. This is true.
He's been awesome. Very, very happy for him because he's a guy that his story is actually really cool. I mean, injuries, school to school, and a lot of times you go, that guy's just not that good. He's good. He actually is the highest rated corner on the team. He's rated, I know you don't like PFF, but I'm going to use it anyway. He's rated higher than Tetairoa.
Yeah, because again, I'm going to tell you something that, I don't know that I want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Tetairoa Davis is a good football player. He's a very good football player. I also had somebody tell me that he's as good as he is. He's not that good. People were making him out like he was one of the handful of best corners in the country. He's not that good. He's good. He's not that.
I'm so convinced that Tetairoa Davis is one day in his career at this level or the next going to be moved to safety and be awesome at it.
Yeah, I agree. So you're saying though that as a corner is probably not his best position.
It's similar to Christian Roland Wallace. I thought Christian Roland Wallace was always a safety.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mario is better as a safety.
All right. So I'm gonna go B- for the secondary. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, got no problem with that. Now, now let's also talk then.
Are they even throwing out Tetairoa? I'll look that up for you.
Now let's talk about. Let's also talk a little bit about players that should play more. Then, because you put this out there, Fam. I'm at the point with Fam. He gets the ball like 2 times per game, and it goes for 22 yards. Either play Fam or redshirt Fam. It's one of the two. No more of this garbage. This is exactly what I was worried about. I don't want this.
Has he seen action in all 3 games so far?
I think he has.
So he's only got 1 game left. They're clearly not redshirting him.
Well, I would, if I were him, I would definitely want to. If you're going to play me 3 snaps per game or whatever, or give me 3 touches, yes, I want a red shirt then.
I'll give you as many touches as you want, Mike.
Yes, exactly. That's what Ben One White always says. But with no, he did say that about that he always believes that Speedy Luke should be Fam should be.
I think Speedy Luke. I don't need him getting touches in between. Like I don't running in between the tackles is nothing for me. You're wasting everyone's time. Like. Right. Use him on the outside. Use him in the run. Why has no one ever ran an end around with Speedy Luke?
I agree. I don't think they know what they're doing. If you're, yeah, Mr. Tyler Warden. By the way, Mr. Tyler Warden is a giant. I think we talked about that. Plus, has a very lovely girlfriend as well. He chose very well. If you are going to play Fam and lose that red shirt, he needs 10 plus touches. To have 8 touches across 3 or 4 games is criminal. Joseph, Dino has no clue how to scheme for Speedy. Yes, I agree with all of that so far. Maybe it changes, but I agree with all of that so far. Don't know what to say.
I'm looking at Takario has been targeted 14 times this season. And allowed 7 receptions, which is bad. That's not good.
All right. Again, I'm just saying that's been good. Now, a couple of the players, and by popular demand, we're going to make fun of Seattle, well, not Seattle, but Washington here in a second. But with the players that you want to see, Fam, obviously, you want to see Kamalu, or how is it pronounced again?
Kamalu.
Yeah.
Camelo.
Yeah, Kamalu. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get canceled right now. It's fine.
Yes, no, exactly. This will not happen. So there's that. Who else would you like to see more of, Scheer?
I understand it doesn't fit technically with what they want to do, but I want to see more of Isaiah Johnson. Now, I will say this: he has not played well this year,
right?
But at least he's a bigger body. There's the snap counts don't line up to me all around. Like the one that really gets me is Roberto Miranda. I understand he's not a pass catching extraordinaire. He is the best blocker on this team, right? Sam Olsen has 30 more snaps or whatever it is than Miranda. Why? Why?
What are we doing here?
Why?
I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, now let's talk about Washington here for a second. Because again, we did promise that we would play this. And yes, Burnett for sure, Rick Barons. Washington, we talked about it a lot yesterday. We're going to grade Jed Fish out so far. And the units. This will be somewhat quick, but listen, when you got Jonah Coleman's a stud. When you've got a running back like that, if you're at the goal line, guess what you do, Jason Scheer? You're supposed to throw it to him. This is true. Or not throw it to him, hand it to him. This is true.
Yeah, give him the ball.
Dude, I mean, give him the ball. And do we still have that clip, Kevin Thomas, of I do apologize for the late of Jed and Brennan, or not Brennan, Brennan Carroll talking about the Will Rogers play.
I think this is another case of coaches trying to be smarter than they really are.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this. He's like, all right.
Here's Carroll's face.
He's like,
oh, right there. Oh.
He's like, oh, okay. I guess we'll do that then. So we're going to take the quarterback that can't. He's like, all right, I guess I'm going to, that's like your commander, like telling you, hey, we need you to go fall on this bomb. Yes. And he's like, yeah, I guess. Now the wide receivers for Washington have actually been pretty good. They've got pretty good wide receivers. Boston, Giles Jackson.
They're not bad.
They're not bad.
I'm very curious how their game goes this week. I'm looking. They should beat the crap out of Northwestern. I'm very glad that Arizona does. I was looking at this. I'm very glad Arizona doesn't have a game. There's a lot of good games that I'd like to watch this weekend. Tomorrow night, Michael.
There are so many teams that we can root against. It's going to be exciting.
Starting tomorrow night. You're going with Pat Mahomes versus Illinois.
All right, Will Rogers. What do you think about Will Rogers so far, Scheer?
I've never liked Will Rogers. And I made it very clear before the season that I don't think he has any arm. Now, I will give Jed credit. I think he's gotten more out of Rogers than I thought. But Will Rogers is not winning you games. He may not lose you games, but he's not winning you football games.
Who's going to be good, and you can tell that Jed was trying to get him in and probably just wants to start him, is Demond. Demond Williams is good.
Yeah, but he hasn't done. I mean, I know the sample size is small, but he hasn't looked good in his time.
I know, but I think it's very difficult for just to have a guy come in.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, like when he uses them is super weird. Like putting him in before the half against Washington State.
You're not setting him up for success. How about that? Is that a good way of putting it, Scheer?
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's also talk about Adam Muhammad's another one that you need to keep an eye on. Not this year, but next year. Adam Muhammad's going to be a monster. That was one of the few guys that Jed took with him that I was very sad about because he's going to be really good.
Are you surprised at Jonah Coleman so far? Do you know his numbers?
What are his numbers? Read them for me.
He's got
14 for 76 last game.
He's got 300 yards and 3 touchdowns
in 3 games,
but he only has 40 carries.
I mean,
so he's averaging 7.5 yards a carry, but he only has 41 carries.
I'm surprised they're not giving him the ball more.
Cameron Davis has 16. They're not running the ball as much as Cameron Davis has 16 and Adam Muhammad has 8.
I've always thought with Jonah Coleman, you need to get the ball. Jonah Coleman is the epitome of one of those running backs that you need to give the ball to like 20, 22 times. That's where he gets going.
Quali Conley, 41 carries, 250 yards.
Yeah, Jonah's really, really good. So, I mean, I'm not going to, and you know what I don't like? I don't mind Jonah Coleman at all because Jonah Coleman said, I'm going where they can pay me the most money. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I'm all about honesty. Like if the player says, look, I went there because they paid me, cool, man.
I have we'll get to Elijah Rushing here when Scheer gets off, Joseph, because that's going to be a big big win for me on that one. But also on the defensive side, I don't see this one ending well because I think Steve Belichick was the epitome of a hire that the Jet just made because he wanted to be able to say that, oh, I know Bill Belichick. Steve Belichick does not inspire any confidence from me. And when you see it as press conferences, I don't want to talk about that. That to me is something where it's like, I don't know. Steve Belichick, he does nothing for me, Scheer.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I often think that NFL coaches have difficulty coaching in college because college offenses are spread them out and they're just so different than NFL that's actually a difficult transition to make.
Yes, I don't see it with him. Now Isaiah Ward has started pretty much all season. Deuce Davis obviously has not played. I guess he's redshirting. That one like I said, didn't make a ton of sense to me, but you got to do what you got to do. Ephesians Prysock is always listed as or. Overall, the defense is just, I don't know. I'd probably grade it out as a C.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Now Joseph says
good game against Utah. Could go up, could go down.
Okay. Now that's where we're at with Washington, though. But we will root against them, though. They should beat Northwestern. But even though Natalie is in here, we will root against Washington. But we hope that you have a good time during the game. Okay. Now let's get to some Arizona basketball. We're going to talk about this year because we are a basketball school as well. But first, you might think to yourself, man, it might be time for an ad read. It might be time for Mike to be able to put something, out there to be able to say NUTRL. All right. Now you're saying to yourself, man, what do all the cool kids do? What do they do when it comes to partying? Listen, when you're living the college life, like Erica L. Day, when you're living it up in Seattle, you probably have a NUTRL or two in your hands. Scheer, wouldn't you imagine?
At least 2.
Okay, yes, at least 2. So anyways, here's it. NUTRL, keep it tasty, keep it scrumptious. Enjoy responsibly 2024 Anheuser-Busch NUTRL flavored vodka carbonation, St. Louis, Missouri. Be like Kevin Thomas and drink NUTRL as well. I would certainly imagine that Kevin Thomas drinks it. Sorry if that gets you in trouble with your mom in the chat there, Kev, but it is what it is. Scheer, your kids, do they like NUTRL yet?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, okay. I mean, it goes without saying. So check it out. Plus, it's from St. Louis. NUTRL, you will thank me later on it. All kinds of really good stuff with NUTRL. Again, keep it very, very good tasting seltzer. Very, very tasty, very scrumptious. And listen, the elephant in the room, Circle K. Okay, listen. How many Circle Ks are there in Seattle?
That's a good question.
Okay. I do not. Yes. Do we know that? Can somebody look that up while we're doing this?
There are multiple. There's
okay. There's not as many as in Arizona, though.
Actually, there isn't a lot. There's like 3 or 4.
Oh, wow. That sucks, man. Wow. Hence maybe the smell. But either way, Circle K, this is where I went to it again. I am very much in the in negotiations with Circle K. There's some very good stuff at Circle K. And again, I am going to the one on 6th Street. That is the GOAT Circle K. Scheer, I think that you've agreed with me at this point that is the Circle K.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the go-to. When you take in amenities and location, that is the Circle K to go to.
All right. Join in the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app. Maybe be like Suge Knight, who we decided was probably part of the Inner Circle at some point. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. If you go to the one on 6th Street, you might even see me there. All right. Now, Scheer, let's talk some Arizona basketball. We are going to talk the front court. You were texting back and forth yesterday about Mount Crevis And you asked me if he's okay. I asked some people, and they didn't even know what you were talking about. He said, yes, he is okay. So, Scheer, stop rumor mongering.
No, he's wearing a boot, and then in some photos, he's off to the side. But yeah, he's okay. No worries, is what I was told.
All right, now I was also talking with a good buddy of ours as well about the front court. Here's where I'm at with this. I think Krivas is going to be a good player for Arizona this year, but I need Trey Townsend to be the better player. If Krivas is the second best player on the team, I don't know that Arizona is necessarily going places. I need Trey Townsend to be the better, more impactful player.
It's hard for me to say that because how good can Krivas be?
We don't know.
I mean, if he's really good, he's really good. You know, I don't like saying stuff like that.
Okay, well, fine. You don't have to say
really good. He's really good. I don't think anyone has to be the second best player.
Nah, well, I'm really hoping that it's KJ.
I get what you're saying. You're hoping it's who?
I'm hoping it's KJ or Trey Townsend.
That was my guy. I said on the podcast last night. I think KJ is the guy on the team that has to make the biggest jump from last year to this year. I think if he makes like a small jump, Arizona's not going to be nearly as good as we think.
Because you've never been a huge KJ fan, so we need
like he's good defensively, but he only averaged 6 points and 3 rebounds. They need more.
How many minutes did he play last year?
18 minutes.
Okay, 18 minutes. Okay. All right, exactly. As a freshman. So you would imagine that he's probably going to be better this year.
I said to me he needs to put up 12 and 5. That's
12
fair.
and 5? Yeah. I think he should be able to put up 12 and 5.
Yeah,
I have no problem putting up 12.
I'm not like you. I'm not saying he needs to average 18, 12, and 7.
Dude, come on. KJ is a big L for you. You said multiple times last year. What?
You agree with me? Is he the guy when you look at the roster that needs to make the biggest jump from last year to this year?
Him, or if you want to make the argument for Jaden, I can hear that one too.
I think Jaden's already there. I think Jaden's closer.
What did Jaden average last year? If you want to go with that,
I think Jaden, we already know. You know what I mean?
What did Jaden average last year? If you want to do that.
Jaden averaged 7, 2, and 2.
Okay.
But we've seen games like the Clemson game, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was good against Dayton. We didn't see those games from KJ, like ever.
No. All right. Now, somebody asked what happened to Tunde. He wants the most money, so here's what it is.
He wants money, and he wants other things that most schools aren't wanting to provide.
Yes, exactly. So it is what it is. Trey Townsend, though, you have convinced the board that Trey Townsend isn't good. It's a very interesting ability on your part to be able to convince people that they aren't good, that you want Javier Amos over him. But either way,
I don't know. That's not true.
Yes.
I'm not a Javier Amos fan.
Yes. All right. Trey Townsend, though, 13 and 8. That's what I need from him. And I also need him to live at the free throw line.
This is good. I'm proud of you with these realistic numbers. 13 and 8 is fine.
Hey, man, you're the one that was been wrong on all these guys.
No. Who was it?
It's terrible with these players.
No. My record's fine with these numbers.
Wait a second. You did say with you didn't want Caleb Love here. You thought that Kylan Boswell was better than Jaden Bradley. Both of those were L's. You also said you didn't think KJ Lewis would contribute as a freshman, and he was a fringe top.
Want to go over your L's? We don't have time.
No, dude, man. No, I don't want to talk about L's. I want to talk about you. That's where I'm at with all of this. Yeah, you know
Trey Townsend, 13 and 8 is good. That's a good solid number. I'm proud of you.
I also see that. I also need him to. Like I said, I also need him. He and Caleb Love, and we're going to get to Caleb Love in a second. I need them to be getting a lot of free throws. That's where I'm also. Yes, Joseph is right. Scheer refused to give up on Bam Bam. You did. It didn't matter.
Who's Bam Bam?
Kylan Boswell.
Oh, that's not true.
Right.
I'm just not going to bury a kid in public, but that part's not true. Mike knows that's not true.
I kept saying, dude, Jay, I said,
Mike, you know that's not true.
I said pretty much all the season that Jaden Bradley was better. This is true.
That's true, but I didn't. I refused to give up on Boswell. It's just not true.
Well, he kind of did.
Mike, come on,
Scheer, come on. I got the receipts, as the kids.
So do I.
I got the seats. Seats. But I'm telling you, that's what I want though. That's what I want with Trey Townsend. The other reason I like Trey Townsend though too is I am tired of this. I am tired of the whole thing about Arizona goes into these tournament games and has a bunch of guys that can't get their own buckets. I am done with that. I cannot have any more of that. Keyshawn Johnson did a lot of good things. Keyshawn Johnson could not get baskets when the going got tough. We have seen that Trey Townsend could do that. I do not care about his field goal percentage either, because when you're being draped on by 3 different people against Kentucky or North Carolina and you're still getting 29 and 12, that is something that Keyshawn could not do in that situation.
What was wrong with his field goal percentage? He shot 45% from the field.
Right, I'm saying.
I want him to match his Oakland numbers at Arizona, and then I think he'll be very good. 17, 8, and 3 on 45% shooting.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I also think yes, Trey Townsend is going to crumble versus Clemson. Yes, I'm just saying that I want a tough dude. And he played very well against very good teams. Your guy, Sean Miller, your man crush, you saw his quotes about him last year.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine. I always am skeptical about how guys at the mid-major level go to I'm going to bring up one of your L's. Remember when you said Shakur Justin was going to be just freaking awesome at Oregon? He's coming from UNLV. I don't know if it's nothing against Trey Townsend. It's just there's a difference between playing Milwaukee on a Tuesday night and going to Kansas.
But every good team he played, he put up numbers, whether that was Kentucky, whether that was North Carolina, or State, whether that was against.
You won your argument because you said I don't care about field goal percentage. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean?
Because look, like if I said, yeah, he was great against Kentucky, right? He had 17 points. Well, the dude shot 6 of 15 and was 4 of 9 from the free throw line.
Okay, well, he's got to shoot better free throws. How was he against North Carolina State, that Final Four team?
11 of 25 from the field.
And what did he finish with?
He had 30 points.
How many rebounds?
13.
Okay.
He was good that game. 11 of 25. Not great.
Yeah, but again, you're not
getting it. But all I'm saying is
when you've got 3 dudes that are draped on you, you're not going to have the field goal percentage.
And I get it. But I'm just saying, when you look at the schedule, there's a difference between playing Cleveland, Youngstown State, Milwaukee, and Green Bay. And he was good in the out of conference. Don't get me wrong. Ohio State, Illinois, he was fine. Xavier killed him.
Well, again, so doesn't that mean something to you that he put up numbers almost against any good team he played?
No, and I'm not saying he won't put up numbers. I just want to see it.
All right. Again, I agree with Scheer about mid-major players. However, when they don't go to teams with good players, that's when they don't succeed. That Final Four team, that was a Final Four team that he put that up on, Scheer.
Yeah, I don't care. It's nothing against him. I'm just saying there's a difference between physically. There's a difference too. If I'm playing Baylor on a Monday and Kansas on a Saturday, that's different than playing Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Youngstown State.
Or playing like Kentucky and then North Carolina State right after that.
Sure. That's 2 a game sample, Mike. That's like me saying
I go a lot deeper than that. To quote Kendrick Lamar, rabbit hole goes deep. It can go further, I promise. What?
I can pick bad games that he had 2 against bad teams.
Yeah, yes, but either way, Scheer. You also said via text message, you said, I don't want Trey Townsend. That was your first one.
I said that Trey Townsend would not have been my first choice. And I'll still say that.
You wanted Javier Ramos.
No, I never wanted that kid.
Javier Ramos?
Never wanted Javier Ramos.
All right, now Lost Highway. I do agree with this. We like Umar Ballo, leader of men, but I am okay. They were a Final Four team. They made the Final Four. North Carolina State, they made the Final Four. I don't know how they weren't a Final Four team. They made the Final Four.
Fake news. That's fake news.
Yeah, that is. Come on, Gringo Billy. You're better than that.
No, NC State making the Final Four is fake news.
Now, I think that there is a possibility that Arizona can actually upgrade at the center position. And I like Umar Ballo, leader of men. I really do. But there's a couple things with Umar Ballo. Leader of men, that were massive limitations. First of all, he just couldn't make free throws. He was never going to be able to make free throws. It was that game against Clemson. He was basically praying that those shots would go in. That wasn't good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the biggest difference with Krivas and Ballo is that, again, Umar's my guy. You couldn't play Umar in certain situations.
Right. You couldn't play defensively.
And I think Krivas, you could get away with more. In certain situations than you can.
Oh, Kevin Thomas, the great Kevin Thomas. Hello, Kevin Thomas.
Yes, indeed. I just wanted to hop in because I totally agree with what you guys are saying. I think that some of the things with Ballo that on the court we as fans were frustrated with. I mean, I don't think that we're going to have those same issues with this year's front court lineup. I just don't. I think we get more athletic. I think we get more reliable from the free throw line. And I think that really matters.
Yes, exactly. Now, Scheer is saying that he needs to be signed off. Scheer, you have 2 more minutes. It's only 11:13. We actually will be going probably a full hour show starting tomorrow, Mr. Kevin
cool.
Thomas, just because Scheer's got to bounce
I
out.
just have a parent-teacher conference. It's a half-day situation today.
All right. But yes, tomorrow we will be going to. All right. Now, Caleb Love. We're going to talk about Caleb Love here for a few minutes as well. And then you can sign off because Caleb Love from Christian Brothers in St. Louis, Missouri. Here is where I'm at with Caleb Love. I need 6 free throws per game from Caleb Love. That I believe that is my biggest thing for him. I need him to attack.
What did he average last year?
I don't know. Look.
I will look.
Look right now.
Average free throw attempts. Oh no, he's not. I didn't realize how low it was.
How much?
4, and that was a career high.
I need him around 7.
Yeah, go to the hole, baby.
I need him going to the hole, big dog. I need him getting 7 free throws per game because, again, he is not like a guy. He's not as stiff. He doesn't need to be hanging around the perimeter the entire time. I need him getting to the basket. I'm fine with some of the crappy threes. I get that. That's going to be part of the equation. I get all of that. But I need 7 free throw attempts, and that's on Tommy Lloyd as well, in my opinion. That is something that I think Tommy Lloyd needs to very much address with him.
Because the Big 12 is a different animal too, right? They're going to try to make him into a jump shooter that doesn't want to go to the basket. That's going to be their goal.
Yes, exactly. So, again, you need to be able to get to the basket. You need to be able to find ways. Tobe Awaka is going to be an interesting one because our good friend, we have a good friend who believes that Tobe Awaka will be playing in the NBA in a year and that he is going to be absolutely a monster. I'm excited to see Tobe Awaka. Plus, I found Tobe Awaka here.
Our friend called during the show and is mad at me that I didn't answer.
Oh, wow. Hey, tell him you're with Mike Luke.
I did.
What?
He said I missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
I like Toby. Big dude. That's the type of guy you need in the Big 12. Big, wants to be physical. Girthy, athletic, long, thick.
Yes, that's what you want. Now, when it comes to, all right, Scheer, also, no better time to become a PHNX diehard, my friends. No better time. Here's the deal. You can sign up for all kinds of really, really good stuff. Diehard membership, free t-shirt of your choice from the locker, access to all our premium written content, entrance to the Discord lounge, discounts on all events. Become a PHNX diehard. Also, Scheer, where can they find you?
Wildcat Authority and the Wildcat Scoop podcast with Shelby and at parent-teacher conferences at Dove Mountain.
Yes, exactly. That also, really quickly, Ryan Neal, when people complain about Tommy Lloyd, watch Brent Brennan. I will never complain about Tommy Lloyd. That was from N-Dogger. That was a very good one that I have stolen a bunch. Now, again, starting tomorrow, our shows, more of us, not less of us. But on that note, for Mr. Jason Scheer, I am merely Mike Luke. You have been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.